Hi, I'm Scott Jolly, and today we're going to be talking about inflation and how it affects you in the current state of the market. As we talk about inflation and how it affects you in the current market, we need to establish a couple of things. First is the value of real estate and the components of real estate in the marketplace. Now, what we can research and find is that overall housing services, insurance, purchasing and selling, services related to the real estate market account for roughly 17.5% of the total gross domestic product produced in the United States. It's a huge chunk of our GDP. We also need to establish that some things are different now than they have been in the past. So as we look at inflation, as we look at uncertainty, as we look at what the market is doing, it's important that we look at the facts of what the segment actually contributes to GDP. And then we look at what are the differences or what are the options that we have. So according to the Washington Examiner, a group of Bloomberg economists studied what was happening within inflation and in the inflationary rates, and they determined that the average US household was going to experience a $5,200 per year increase this year in their cost of goods and services over the past couple of years, which equates to about $433 per US household per month. So as we've had this jump in what you and I are now spending per month to just run our households, we're seeing a change in what's happening in the goods and services that we can purchase and what we can do in the real estate market. In looking at data that was produced by Black Knight, they showed that the average US household has $153,000 of tappable equity. Now, the way that we calculate tappable equity is we take what you owe, what the home is valued at, less 20%, and the delta between that 20% on a refinance that would have to stay in the home and what you owe is what you have that's tappable, meaning you could pull it out, you could use it for other things. Now, I'm not advocating for that. We saw that in the early 2000s. We saw that lead up to some real stress in the real estate market because people were taking all of their tappable equity and they were using it. But what we are seeing with inflation is that as inflation numbers come up, your current savings are going to go down. The other things that we're going to see from inflation and how it affects you is probably a stabilization in salaries and the amount of money that's paid for certain services when we have a job. What's going to happen and what's being predicted by these economists is that as inflation comes up and as our savings numbers dwindle, because we're spending more per month, more people are going to exit the sidelines and get back into the workforce. There's some benefits to that. Lots of employers need employees right now and they're having a hard time getting them. What's going to happen is as those people now enter back into the workplace, we're going to see a stabilization in the amount that they make. So as inflation continues to go, it's going to continue to have an impact on what I believe will be a continued strong real estate market. The reason that I believe that it's going to continue to be strong is that you and I are not going to walk away from homes that have $150,000 of tappable equity. We're going to find other solutions to challenges in order to continue to stay in our homes. So as we talk more about the market in other segments, I hope you'll join us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the link below. We hope that you find the information valuable and you'll continue with us on other videos. Thank you so much for being here today.